Hi Kenny, how you doing?
Fantastic.
Kenny's doing fantastic. Well, we're here at Panama in Amsterdam.
Yep.
It's House Play Detroit edition, and you're going to be on in less than an hour. What do you feel about playing in Amsterdam?
Amsterdam is actually it's kind of like a second home for a lot of DJs from Detroit. So it's always fantastic to come to Amsterdam and go for it. You don't have to worry about here whether or not the people will get the music. You know, we're known for a certain sound here, and it's easy just to come here and so it's always fun.
And in that respect, what's the difference with other European countries that you come to, or even the States? You know,
the States, we don't even have to put the States in this because the U.S. is, as far as dance music goes, they don't compare to anything outside the country really. The dance music scene there is horrible. I hate to say that, but I mean, you know, it's bad. So I mean, that's one of the reasons why we have to travel all over the country and play at these parties. Every other country but the States is probably the best place to play. And you know, I'm still playing countries that are still kind of going up with the dance music, like the Eastern Bloc countries. I went to Israel a couple weeks ago. That was fantastic. It was amazing. So there are places where you can go, and they'll allow you to take them on that musical journey. Whatever you want to do, they'll go with you. But then there's also other places where you go and they'll fight you. I think I went to Slovenia, and maybe it was the wrong club or something, but they didn't lead the floor, but you can tell they just didn't get it. And so that's the time where when working, that's when it becomes work to be a DJ. But that's how this is how I look at it. I always like to play really good parties, and if it's packed, it's packed. But if a few people do not leave when I'm playing, then there's something wrong with my playing. I like to play forward stuff, cutting edge stuff that goes over some people's heads.
Do you have some new music coming out?
Yeah. I just finished an album entitled Keys, Strings, Tambourines, Kenny Larkin project, and it's coming out on Carl Craig's label in June on Planet E. So that's coming out, but then there's also a single that's coming out in May before that. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty busy year for me because I'm actually working on another album.
So you've been producing the album, and you've also been touring a lot because you've been touring always. How do you find a balance between touring and producing music, and what is important to you, or more important to you?
To be quite honest, it's actually quite hard to do it. I mean, it's really hard to strike that balance, for me at least. I mean, I think because I don't live in Detroit anymore, I moved to LA a couple of years ago to pursue comedy. And my journeys are way longer than they normally used to be. Before, when I lived in Detroit, it was like an 8-hour journey to Europe. Now it's 17, 18 hours. So it's really hard for me to get on a plane and come all the way over here. But it's how I make my living.
Well, talking about creative ceiling that you found in Detroit, you're coming out with a new album, so that must mean you found inspiration in something new, or something else. What's the biggest difference with your prior productions and this new album that's coming out?
It's just more refined. My music is, hopefully you always try to push yourself a little bit. And if you were to compare this album to, say, the stuff I released on Plus 8 when I first came, it'd be like, what the... I can't really stand to listen to my old stuff on Plus 8 because I think it's so horrible compared to what I'm doing today. And it's funny, some guy just sent me an email the other day and said, "Man, I really love that We Shall Overcome thing on Plus 8. I'm like, that was so horrible. I can't. It's just hard for me to wrap my head around people liking that stuff. But where I am musically is where I like. I'm really comfortable with where I am musically, and the new album is a reflection of that. It's more dancey than I normally am. You typically, when I do a Kenny Larkin album, it's kind of more armchair kind of music, electronic music. You sit at home, you chill. But this one has probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 tracks that you can play in a club.
You've been producing and playing for, I don't know, over 20 years now. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that sounds like a long time. And does that feeling ever change? I mean, you have to go up in 30 minutes, and I mean, what's the sensation that goes through your body before playing, even like maybe a crowd of 20,000 people or a crowd of 300 people?
Yeah. I still get the butterflies when I play, before I play, especially if the crowd is into it. Yeah, I tell you, that makes it worth the 17, 18-hour journeys from LA to Holland or wherever I'm playing, to Europe. The welcome or the response of the people. And I prefer to play, just like a lot of other DJs, we prefer to play smaller venues because it's more intimate. You can like relate to the people more. Like this tonight is perfect. It's like a lot of it's packed, and you can make eye contact with them as opposed to 15,000 people. You can't connect with that, you know.
Well, final question: Detroit or Amsterdam?
How about Detroit? Detroit, or whatever.
All right. Thanks a lot for this interview.
All right. Thank you. And cut.